we'll go through some questions, and some of the questions are going to be answered with some announcements that we have to make. And then when we're done with questions, we'll open it up to, whatever is in the town hall. We go to Discord app on the computer. Also, Bug, he would clap you in Fortnite. No build though. No build. You're definitely probably the person that would just build a tower immediately as soon as you see somebody.
Damn.
Okay.
I pre-ordered Fortnite Save the World. Good time.
Okay. Just get that battlefield.
Okay, town hall questions. Here we go. We're gonna go down to the very bottom. Older post, Robbie Jones. I think this was answered, Robbie. I'm gonna answer it again with the hey, take it easy, guy. Okay, take it easy. But yeah, I think that was answered. I'll talk more on mechanic shops here in a second. Cooldown for banks. Daria wants to know about cooldown for banks. I'll address that later. Used car dealership. Okay, so we've actually been talking about this quite a bit. We need to look into how we want to do it. Like if we want to just have it pure role play, where it's kind of up to the person that's buying the vehicles, kind of like whitelist an individual person, set them up as a business to buy player vehicles, and sell player vehicles, and then it's pure RP after that. If they want to finance a used car, let them finance a used car. If that person doesn't make the payment, let them go after the person that doesn't make the payment. That's kind of what we're looking into. There is some development that we got to make sure works. Obviously the transferring of a car from player A to player B, and then again from player B to player C. But it is being looked into. I know that Meg ran a used car dealership for a long time, so we will give this a genuine looking into on how we want to do it. So I'm gonna hope that answers your question. I can't give you that like a definite yes answer, right? I need to see how we're gonna do it first. Lexi says, I think it'd be really cool. Oh, by the way, Meg, are you recording? My bad. I forgot to say ready, set, go. Okay. Lexi says, I think it would be really cool to give the laptops available at Digital Den some more uses other than just racing. Trojan bank heist, blah, blah, blah. Let me get to the announcement first that we're going to make on that, and then we can circle back around on the development. I would rather see this as a suggestion, if I'm being honest, instead of like just like a town hall question, because I do think there's some so I think there's some merit to it. Just add it as a suggestion so that we don't forget it, Lexi, and then we can kind of circle back when we finish all the announcements. Major changes to PD. Tyler, is Tyler here? Where's Tyler?
Yeah, I think he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't pregame you for this, but so we hear you. We understand that we have spent quite a lot of time getting the police department in a good place. If you've been with us since, Wildfire 1.0, the PD has gone through its fair share of drama. We've seen, I don't know how many, I think I've lost count on the amount of mutinies against the police chief. We've seen multiple fleet changes, weapon changes, SOP changes. It's just back and forth. And I think we finally are now at a point that the PD is going very well. And now we have the opportunity to kind of stand back look at it from the outside and go, okay, where can we make some changes? Not necessarily nerfs, but where can we make some changes on the crim side to kind of give you something? They have this, and I'm gonna let Tyler go more as in depth on this as he wants to here in a second. But things like Air 1 taking significantly longer to refuel. Things like it's being discussed to add an additional swap count into the vehicles. Things like giving the crims more tools and opportunities to have that escape chance. Well, the Air 1 takes significantly longer to refuel, so that was kind of its quote unquote nerf on that one. Its balance on that one. I'm also going to be looking into Air 1 thermals, if I'm being honest with you. They this is a hot take. I think they're a little overpowered, but we need to make sure that cops have an opportunity to be able to search bushes effectively. With certain people's graphics that run the more beauty style graphics, it doesn't take a large bush for you to be completely invisible, and that's kind of what thermals helps out with. But we're going to continuously look at it. So I'm going to give Tyler, sorry to throw you out there in the thing though, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to kind of talk about some of the changes that you're more aware of and that you're willing to share.
Yeah, that's fine. And I kind of want to preface this for people who may not know me or that, but before Wildfire, I used to be a crim main. Played in a lot of bigger cities, so I've seen kind of how WPDs can be, and that's never my goal. My goal is to make it as fair for both sides, just because I've been on both sides. So right now, I'm talking with High Command, and we're kind of just trying to dial back some of our SOPs that in areas where we think that the PD can handle it, as well as giving crims more of a chance. It's like right now we're thinking maybe crime dependent, maybe not having Air 1 and Heat on the chase, dialing back the amount of chase vehicles, because I think right now Polito plus is 5, and we might just go back to a solid 4 across the board, and just try to do all these small minor adjustments to kind of put things a little more balanced than it probably is not right now. As well as some of you may or may not know, I am in charge of the PD fleet, the PD cars and their tuning. So I'm also trying to work on those to not be just completely outclassing the crim cars either. But on the flip side of that, we also need to get the crim and local cars a little bit better up to snuff.
Yeah, I'll say that in terms of, just to add on to this, Tyler, I don't want to take over, but to I think the goal would be to ultimately get the PD and the Civ cars at such a good tune level that we can eventually get rid of pursuit modes, because the pursuit modes was always a temporary fix for a grander problem, right? Because when you look at the majority of PD drives a car that can't actually keep up with the kind of vehicles that are majority driven. So if we can start finding middle grounds on what kind of PD cars that they have accessible on average versus what the crims get accessible to, then we can start looking at dialing back the use of pursuit modes.
Yeah, some people may know, but I've actually always been a proponent of not having pursuit modes. I fucking hate them. But
Yeah.
they're kind of a necessary evil, because unless it's done perfectly, then you'll have a Stanier chasing a Turismo that I can never catch, and, the majority of your cops are going to be driving the Stanier class cars. So it just kind of keeps them out of things. So it's an undertaking, but I think we'll be able to get there at some point.
Yeah, and that is not about, just to touch on this too, that's not about a win or a loss. It's just, imagine you're a cop and you only have access to the Stanier. Now, if without a pursuit mode, you know that you are now incapable of joining in on like 90% of the chases that happen in city. So much of your content for the day is kind of gone. So that's why they are there. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to continuously. So I'm going to announce some changes that are coming up at the end of this. And then with those changes are already going to come some more opportunities. But we're going to continue, like, for the longest time, it's always been, we've always kind of been backpedaled, and we've had to say, we got to fix the PD, fix the PD, fix the PD, yada, yada, yada. Now, I mean, Tyler, hopefully you would agree with this. I think we're at a point that we don't need to fix PD anymore. Now we can start making some
PD's
minor
good.
adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it for being here as long as I have. PD's in the best spot it's ever been.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. And big props to Tyler as well, but I'll also say big props to the command team. It has been unbelievable how much the command team has, like command and high command and above, how much they've stepped up to help this PD get to where it's at.
Oh, this is the best command team I've ever had.
A lot of good communication amongst them. Even in disagreements, they have like good talks and things get hashed out. I've watched it. Pretty good.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, I probably should have left them up here. So the 10-6 system, guys, they need it. Like, I'm sorry, but it's a need. I get that sometimes it's frustrating. It shows that there's not enough cops on so that you can't do a heist. Man, it's there's no point in having seven, say that we have 7 cops on. We have to have a system in place to let these cops not get bombarded with heist after heist after heist after heist. So, and yeah, like Tyler said, we can look into it and we can continue to make adjustments to make sure it's fair. But we also need to see some of the changes that we're coming for. So limiting the use of PD tactics, I'm gonna skip this because I think that we've kind of already addressed it. But yeah, it's again, we don't want to necessarily limit PD. We want to enable the Civ and Crim side a little bit more. Like I think that's more of our focus. It's to kind of buff the Crim side instead of necessarily nerfing the PD side. Elizabeth Taylor is asking if we can decorate outside of houses. I want to, like, I want you to, but we unfortunately cannot. Just, I think until we, hang on, sorry, my kiddo's yelling at me. Okay, buddy. I think that if we can ever get to a point that we can solve, all, if not most of our performance problems, that we can start looking into it. But the problem is, it'll just be a performance nightmare if, you drive through certain neighborhoods and, say there's 10 player-owned houses within that neighborhood. They all have gardens and they're all posting outside decorations. You're just going to fall through the world and never come back up. So. Yeah, and I'm sorry, because that's like, I personally really want that. Like, even when I bought my house in the city, the first thing I wish I could have done was buy a damn barbecue pit, some speaker outdoor music, and things like that. Tanner, maybe, but like I said, we need to address some of our performance issues first before we can do that. Okay, do some sort of station for washing rocks. Theo, do you want to touch base on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I know that we're already in the process of making it. We're just trying to figure out the best details. I can tell you it's not going to be like it ain't going to make it faster or anything else. In fact, it'll probably slow it down. It'll just be you won't have to be there, right? So you'll be able to go out and RP and do other stuff. Just got to get all the final details on it. But Lev is working on that. I think he started like 2 or 3 days ago. So hopefully soon. Excuse me.
Okay. Okay. Let me find you right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and invite you. Just stay muted. I think you want to answer Joey's question.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's just basically going to give you you be able to buy a quote unquote washing machine, right, or a tumbler that you can put your rocks in. We're going to limit a certain amount, like how many little washers you can buy and how many you can put in each one. It just like I said, it's just going to be so you can set it and forget it, kind of like the weed sort of is. So you don't have to spend hours and hours, because I know for a fact it takes 5 hours to do 400 rocks by hand manually. So it's a long time.
Okay, so Curtis, this is probably something that you're going to touch base on, but cars are way too fast and need to be detuned. Hunter Moore says the majority of cars in the city are way too fast and should be detuned. This stands for both PD, local cars, and imports. We should not have any cars in the city going above 160. GTA 5 is old, not meant to handle these kinds of speeds. Pair that into a server ran on a machine with hundreds, if not thousands, of mods. That more than likely contributes to a lot of the lagging, head pops, and scuffs that a lot of people experience at high speeds.
Last year, everyone wanted faster cars. This is why we do a lot of things this year, because of stuff that happened last year, 10-minute timer and such. But I'm with it. If you got to do it, you have to do it. Mr. Ace Turner has been out of commission for a little bit. I think he's back fully, so we could get on that and slow the cars down. I'm with it. I mean,
I think they're right.
Number's a number.
I think that, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's
It's a number. I'm good with it. I don't want, like I said, fast cars are cool, but if it's destroying performance and it's making people head pop, I want more people to be in the city and enjoy themselves. So let's slow the cars down a little bit.
We can have a community poll. I'll make one at the end of this, and we'll just see what people like. If people want the fastest car in city to cap out at 160, and that's like, that would be, I guess, the fastest car with the maxed out mods. So 160 would be our absolute hard limiter, which would mean your average would be what, 120, 130-ish miles per hour.
Yeah.
It would make the driving a little bit easier on the cops because they'd be able to pit significantly more often. So I'm sure that's cool with them. But yeah, we'll post the poll at the end of this.
And if the mech script doesn't F us,
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
What's going on with the EMS? I never see anyone on duty anymore. Is Mac here? I don't know if Mac's here. I don't think Mac is here. No, Mac is indeed not here. Okay, so if you've never played EMS roleplay, it's the most difficult RP to do consistently and often, because your roleplay relies almost entirely on the other party giving you something, just like some kind of feedback, whether it's like a slash me, my arm is broken, just some kind of feedback. And I'm gonna be honest, the city has notoriously never given that kind of feedback. And they just kind of they don't want to actually role play with EMS. They just want to get revived and be sent along your way. So I don't know the answer, if I'm being honest, guys. Like I don't know the answer for EMS. I've been trying to talk to with Mackenzie about it, and it's hard to keep EMS going in any capacity. So like we're looking at things of like when there's not enough EMS online, obviously you guys still need to get, taken care of. And we're looking at, AI medic systems and things like that. So Joe, we have been looking at an illness. But the problem is, so I can put in an illness script. Okay. There's several out there, open source. It's totally fine. And I can actually make it to where you do get sick. We can make it to where, that a plague is spread and they have to, like, we even talked about having a plague and that players would have to donate blood and they'd have to get so much blood, and like the EMS would have to work together in order to find the cure for the plague. The problem is I need the EMS in a better spot, because if I don't have EMS role playing to help cure the plague, then I'm just going to murder the entire server with the plague that gets uncurable. You know what I'm saying? Like, sicknesses and illnesses are totally fine. I would love for you guys to be able to just go catch a cold, go to the doctor, get seen, have the doctor prescribe you medicine for it, things like that. Awesome. Like, that would be fantastic. EMS has to be in a way better spot right now. I mean, we could do, sorry to derail for a hot second here, chat, but if anyone ever played World of Warcraft when the Lich King expansion came out, there was a bug where the Lich King's curse stayed with you outside of the raid, and the CDC was actually monitoring that because all of World of Warcraft was under like DEFCON 4 or some shit, because people were just spreading the Lich King's plague in the normal world, and like you had healers doing it for free and people charging for heals. Like the actual CDC. One second.
Headshot.
Nice, good job. But yeah, the actual CDC was like watching how people would react and respond to a worldwide plague. Yeah, fun times. So, yeah, that's right. But it was the it was the that expansion, right? The Lich King expansion. I can't think of the name right now. That was not in Classic? Was it Classic? Wrath of the Lich King. That's what it was, Tom.
Wesley, people mentioned about the
Yeah, sorry.
talking while down.
Go back to the rails.
Yeah, talking while down. Is that a thing we can enable and disable? Do we like it? You can't talk when you're down.
It was disabled due to 1.0 issues, because people immediately would abuse the system and start whispering, "Hey, he's over here, blah 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 blah." It was used to kind of meta, and people also just use it to start talking shit. But yeah, if you're on your side, you can talk. Flat back, you can't.
Okay.
I mean, no. At the end of the day, people just need to give EMS something. Like, if
I agree.
Because an EMS, they don't know, right? So when they come up, like when an EMS comes up with you, like comes up to you, it is so easy for you to go /me, multiple gunshot wounds to this arm, the chest, blah 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 blah. Like, paint the picture for them so that they have shit to do. Like, an EMS scene is a painting, and it takes 2 people to paint it. So y'all got to give them something, right? Anything. Banks, they don't work. I'm just gonna be honest. They are shit. We have tried it. They are awful. Yeah. Yeah, but like again, at the end of the day, it's you got to paint that scene, you know. Like if you know EMS are coming, create a scene. Create like say blood pile here, blood pile here. You know, I mean, you have to give them just bare minimum, and the EMS are gonna role play enough to take that bare minimum and go to town with it. So that's step one to fixing EMS, because I can't even try to convince people to play EMS when they're not, you know, it's like inviting people over to dinner and you're just going to serve them a glass of water. Nothing, but every now and again, a nice filet mignon would be nice too. Okay. Moving on. Falling to death on login. Yeah, that only happens if you're a known shitter. Sorry, Roman. Way to get outed. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm gonna yield to that one. I'll let one of the devs speak on that if they want to.
I mean, where are they flying out at? Because I never fall to the ground when I log in.
Bug unmute.
So this bug is specifically. So hi everybody. Hi Milan. Hi James.
Sam?
Hi guys. Whoa. Don't even call me out. Anyway, it specifically happens if you log out inside of your house, and then I've sort of trying to be working on actually spawning in at your house. It seems it works sometimes, but I think there's some edge cases where it doesn't work and it just spawns you at last location. But if you want to be 100% on the edge of safety, just don't log out in your house. And from what I know, when I do log out of my house and I spawn last location, I just fall directly straight down. I don't take any fall damage. So
if you do fall, don't move and just fall.
I mean, you can move. Like whenever you fall, like even if you're moving, like you'll just take you until you hit the ground, you won't take any damage, unless you're above water apparently. Which I don't have houses above water.
Long story short, that we're gonna look in. We're trying to fix it.
Yep.
New cars in the local dealership. Hunter says, with the addition of all the new cars in the traffic system, it'd be amazing to see some of these, if not all these, be available in local dealerships. We haven't added many cars to local dealerships. Blah 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 blah. Curtis, do you want to talk on this?
As Hunter asked, no, I'm not doing that.
That's fair. We can just move on if you want to.
Yeah, I'm cool. No, yeah, we'll add them. I know people have been asking for the Buffalo SCX. Once again, we don't have many vehicle devs. It's all on, a lot of it, shit ton of it is on Ace. But yeah, we're gonna try to do that with hopefully the speed thing. So yep, we're good. We're gonna add them.
Short answer is yes, they'll be added. Long answer is it's a slow process because cars have to be done in the most perfect way we can, or y'all are gonna light your torches and come at our door.
Yep.
Yeah, Ace is a goat. Thank you for bringing that up, Hyde. He is a fucking animal, bro. So, yeah, like shouts out to Ace. Money Wash Mainly. Adaria says, in my first city, fuck that place, Adaria. You'd go to the laundromat and you would need to wash your cash by staying there and going through each step, machine dryer, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think that yeah, well, I'm okay with that, but I think that there's gonna
Go buy your
Adaria, I'll talk about this at the end when I announce the announcement that I have. Okay. Intro. When are we getting a new intro? At least a new song or some shit. It's been the same since reopening. Hunter, I am by no means absolutely not reading what you just said. It's so much. The video is cool. I don't think we need to change it at like kind of that all. Like, I mean, the music is pretty cool, but it's kind of up to Hunter. I mean, Hunter put in a lot of time and a lot of effort on this. So I think if Hunter wanted to collab with somebody and redo it, that would be kind of up to Hunter. But I'm not gonna force him into doing that. You know, like our intro is nice. Hunter worked really hard on it. There you go, Cryption. He's gonna collab with somebody. Thanks. Okay, so the giant one about current issues in communication will be addressed here in a moment. That's a lengthy one. I want to answer the rest, and then we'll circle back to that one. Faye. Is Faye here? She working? Okay. So Faye, when we talk about AI in the art section, I'm gonna give a hot take. Okay, this is a Wesker hot take. Now, understand this comes from my wife is a digital artist. I own and operate a tattoo shop with 3 artists there. So I myself have graphic design background and advertising. So I understand what AI can do to the art industry. I also understand that AI systems in the United States have a horrible impact on our environment. I mean, hell, even in Central Texas, where one of the largest AI data centers are, there's a current drought. So I get it. You know, I do wish that the United States would embrace kind of what China was doing, where they take all of their fucking their AI data centers are in the middle of the ocean. So that's how they're using their cooling. They're not wasting water. So I understand the art side of it. I understand the environmental impact of it. However, I don't want to control if people want to use AI. And especially for like, because I looked through the art channel to see kind of what all had been posted. I didn't see much. But if somebody wants to take their character's description, throw it into an AI image generator, be happy with that and share it, I don't see a problem with that. Yes. Could they have, you know, reached out and purchased, you know, go on Fiverr and paid an artist to do it? Sure, probably. But, you know, it's fun. You know, it's no harm, no foul. Now, if somebody's like advertising themselves as an artist and they're just selling AI art, different story. I will drag that person because that's shitty. But if people are just using it to describe their characters or make menus in city or just make like a quick image thing for the city, I don't see a problem with that. And I don't think that we as a staff team should be saying, no, you're not allowed to post AI art. I don't think that I would ever condone somebody selling art services that turned out to be AI art. But like, I'm not trying to name drop, but like Valerie posted some AI art of her character. I don't see a problem in that, you know? Like if people want to just do that, I don't see the harm in doing that. And I did talk to Bonnie about this because again, Bonnie has if y'all don't know, Bonnie's my wife. She has a better view on this because she is a digital artist. And she also agrees with me in saying that if for the purpose that people use it for, if it's just, I want to see what my character looks like I want to see what my words look like according to AI, and they want to share it with the community, I'm not going to drag that person and say, no, nobody's allowed to do it. So I think that's my, I think that's got to be my stance on it. Thanks. We can go into a multi-hour long conversation about weird shit on Birdie, though. I don't like AI from an ethical standpoint, and personally do not use it, but I think it's okay. Yeah, Aubrey, like it's kind of like this the same thing. From an ethical standpoint, environmental impact, if you're not supportive of AI, I 100% understand. But I don't feel that it is our job as a staff team to take that view and limit others who may not share that view. It's the same thing as like being against oil and gas and natural gas. Environmental impact, terrible. At the end of the day, I'm going to use it, and I'm not going to force other people to stop, using plastics. And yeah, dude, I pay for ChatGPT. I don't know what I would do without it now. Okay. Yeah, Banks, I'm with that. Gangs, I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna circle back around to that because that's a kind of a bigger one. Business apps and business owner requirements. Bean says, apologies if these questions were addressed elsewhere if this topic's already in discussion. Question 1, is there a timeline for business applications opening, or is it contingent on existing owner step down? 2, is there any requirement or consideration for requirements in order to maintain business ownership status? Yeah, so question number 1 is we have to be ready developmentally to start putting businesses back in. That's kind of the biggest thing about that. It took us way too long to get the first round of businesses put in place. I've said this once, I'll say it again. If you do not need any development assistance whatsoever, and you're just trying to RP out the business and city, there is nothing preventing you from doing that. If you don't need anything from my team to support your RP, and you just want to RP a business, go forth and do that. XPS is a prime example. When I did play, I literally went and got the tow truck job, made a fake tow truck company, and advertised myself as tow truck services. I made more money off towing cars for the cops than most of you people do doing crime. If I'm being 100% honest, because the cops tip well because they're overpaid. I think it was Harlow that gave me like $10K for towing one car. Come on now. But yeah, and then number 2, there are requirements that once you are a business owner, we have not really been enforcing those requirements, but I think now that we're at a point that we're starting to see some shifts within the community that we can start looking at businesses that are not being active and not meeting those requirements. And then we'll address those. Sorry to out you on that one, Harlow. Viable mailboxes. Go for Bug.
So with the mailboxes, I did some thinking. I also talked to Wesker briefly on it, I'm pretty sure, but I think it would be cool to have mailboxes, but instead of placing mailboxes, I feel like one would be kind of like a pain to actually do. And it would also just not be, I guess, viable. Like, imagine 400 mailboxes just around the server in different places. So what I was thinking is we could potentially get a mail room, and then, like, there'd just be a wall of mailboxes. You guys can access each mailbox yourself. I feel like that'd be a cool solution instead of buyable mailboxes. So then, you know, you can have a PO box, you can stuff sent to you, and there'd also be like a payment system that I haven't spoken to Tom on this, but the details aren't worked out exactly. But I think mailboxes are definitely a doable thing that can come to the city.
So real quick, just to answer your question, Eddie, yes, we have seen that happen with Stacy. Was not the original owner of Bahama Mamas. Those owners just slipped up, stopped doing whatever. Stacy was just the manager who worked there. And when those owners officially left, we gave ownership over to Stacy. It's been so long, and I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this, but another prime example would be Lily's inheritance of Burger Shot, which I feel right. I think was Lily the original owner of Burger Shot?
No, Amir was, and he
That's who it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He didn't put in time, so we essentially stripped it and allowed Lily to buy it.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's been forever.
Yeah.
And then Hunter getting tuna. So in certain circumstances, absolutely yes. Okay. Local NPCs disappearing. Hyde says, "Can we get rid of the system or at least change it that removes NPCs around certain areas? I understand the business part, but you don't want locals to spawn inside and get stuck on props and whatnot. But having it set to where it's 2-3 blocks away is still despawning locals is weird." Hyde, make this a suggestion so that we can look into it. I'm not discrediting this, but I've like it. If you could put it into a suggestion and kind of say where some of this is happening, so we can pinpoint and make sure that there's not, zones that are a little bit too big.
I will say, Wesker, like base level, like yes, we can change it. Like I know exactly where the lines of codes are. Like
for sure.
I know where it is.
Let me see. 1 second, guys. Good. Yeah. Sorry. It was a kiddo. He's pretty important. Okay. I'm gonna skip the sell import ones just for a second. So fake hostages. I don't even need to read this to understand what this means. Absolutely. We have actually discussed as a staff team starting to hit people for fail RP when they come up and like, "Hey, can I borrow you for a second? Hey, can you just hop in my car for a minute?" Like, y'all got to give some people some fright, dude. Like, pull up, hop out of the door, have baseball bats, scare the shit out of somebody, throw them in your car, be aggressive. Yeah, like that's. What's the other one that they ask a lot, Theo?
Go for ice cream.
Yeah, go for ice cream. Yeah,
I want to be a hot dog. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, I'm okay with once you get them in the car being, cordial and nice or whatever a little bit, but that first initial is like, hey, don't give them the option to say yes or no. Like, I'll tell them no all day when they ask me.
Uppies is funny as fuck. Uppies?
Yeah, I remember being.
Uppies?
She used to, or she took Saf one day just asking for a hug, and then just took off with her. And then they asked me if I want to be a hostage. I said, "Don't be a pussy. Put a gun in my face."
Actually, I think it was I don't know if he wants me out the name, but I definitely got somebody in this call yelled at by his gang leader because he didn't treat me like a right hostage, and I was halfway down the fucking street before they finally caught me.
Yeah, I was like, the law's no better with me now.
You ain't got your gun and you ain't looking at me. I'm gone, dude. John, excuse me. That's something stuck in my throat.
All right, up.
Damn.
Okay. Let's go back to some of the things. Able to sell imports. Short answer, yes. I'm okay with that. We are going to create a system that allows you to trade in your imports and get an equivalent key back. It'll also re-add that import back to the import stock. We are going to put a mileage limit on that. The mileage limit is not yet known, but it's going to be more for a trial basis, not you bought a car 3 months ago, you used to drive it a lot, now you bought a new car. It's going to be you bought a car, drove it for a little bit, realized that this wasn't really the car for you, and you want to swap it out. That's the angle to look at it. Not I've got 15 cars that I bought 2 months ago and now only drive one. Yeah, it's like it's gonna be low mileage. Like we're gonna start getting some averages of different mileage of cars and things like that. But short answer, yes. And I want to remind everybody that it clearly states all sales are final on the TEBX. However, I'm okay with doing this. Okay. We're working backwards here. Gangs. Okay. Over the course of Wildfire's entire life, we have seen groups of gangs be here in kind of harmony. And we have seen the aggressive gangs be here. We're not going to. Yeah, I mean, let's fuck it. First it was KOS, then KOS gets banned, and then it's fucking projects, and projects gets banned, then it's triads, and triad gets banned, and then we had issues with Hydra rebrands to BFS, we had issues with BFS. Hang on, yes, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah, projects was before KOS.
They also come back after KOS for a little bit.
And then, yeah.
That's yeah.
came back.
Were they really before?
We were
I think
watching Joey's
just a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It feels like a fever dream.
I think it's
Yeah.
because they were here, then just we disbanded them. Sorry, can't talk. And then KOS came in, and then like right after KOS, they come back before they rebranded to Triads.
Yeah, when we
like that.
when the Lost first flew in, projects were here. I actually had a problem with them. Some beef.
Yeah, so we're just not gonna entertain it.
Joey.
We're just not gonna entertain it anymore. So dude, I don't think there's ever been a person that's defended these kind of gangs more than me, ironically. I mean, I literally was the one that brought KOS all here. And that led to my wife getting called a whore on Twitch. I was the one that kept the projects around, and that led to me getting doxxed. So it's like, I don't know how many times I can just repeat the same shit over and over again before I finally kind of come to terms. And it took this time to come to terms. There are several gangs within Wildfire right now that are playing the game in harmony. They're having a good time. They're playing the way that they want to play. And all the other gangs, except for the quote unquote aggressive gangs, are okay with that, and they're having a good time. Now, yes, in retrospect, if I can get all of them here at the same time, it'd be cool, blah, 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 but it doesn't matter. Right? If there's 9 people having a good time and there's one person that's not having a good time, it's up to that one person to do what the other 9 are doing, not the other way around. So from here on, we are going to be we've always been able to identify who the quote unquote shitter gangs are. You know, your quote unquote aggressive street gangs and stuff like that. We've always been able to identify them. From here on, they'll just be auto denied on their whitelist, and we'll let them know this ain't the place for you. And that's just moving forward. However the gangs want to interact in city right now, it's how you're going to interact with each other. You choose to, if you want to interact and have beef, cool. If you don't want to interact and have beef, also cool. It doesn't matter. As long as everybody's having a good time, I don't care. So yeah, that's really all there is to say about that. Other than, I will say this too. Stop automatically assuming that everything that's happening in city carries over OOC, because that is getting ridiculous. Like, there are so many people here that have the absolute ability to cut off OOC, and quite frankly, 1 second. Yes, Jerry. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's gonna seem like I'm fighting from a corner here. I'm not. Quite frankly, I'm tired of my staff team getting dragged OOC and being attacked as admins just because of some shit they've done in character. Separate it, dude. Discord and City are different. I mean, I'll speak on his behalf. Fuck, Theo doesn't even get to interact with anybody, because the minute he does, almost, I think the last 3 interactions Theo's had over the last couple of months, they immediately made tickets because they say, "Oh, Theo's attacking me, OOC." It's a little ridiculous. Yeah, the phone's too big for your pocket. Yeah, it's too big, buddy. And I'm actually serious about that. Like, you know, even Lucy. People attacked Lucy, the admin, for some shit BFFs did in City.
Meanwhile, I'm not even in City.
And
That's the funny part.
that's weird, man. People are attacking Theo the person for some shit Theo the character did. And we're a whitelisted RP server. My expectations for everybody is higher than that. So I'll leave that part at that. Okay, I'm gonna touch base on the current issues in communication. That one, we got 600 responses. So for those watching at home, I am not gonna go through all 600 responses, obviously. So here's some of the change. I'm just going to talk about some of the changes that we are going to take from this. We are going to create a program, or not create a program, but we are going to create kind of a system that we will start being a more transparent with what kind of bans or what kind of punishments or what kind of tickets that we had. That way you guys can start seeing the patterns that we're seeing. We'll start letting you know, hey, we had, X amount of fail RPs for this reason, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, honestly, most of our tickets aren't even that deep. I would say a high majority of them are people doing crime during the 30-minute end and start points when they shouldn't be. Like, I would say that's, there's probably one or two every other day for that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot for that. But we will start doing that. I don't think I have a problem with that. I'm also looking to adding on to the community team so that there could be somebody that's dedicated for kind of like a community outreach position to be that person to kind of help voice between the staff team and the community team. Stacy, I love you. But no. 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 I could just imagine Stacy giving an announcement. Damn, Stacy, that threw my whole track of thought. But yeah, so that's some of the things that we're gonna look into, and we're going to make the changes where we can when we can. Okay. Now, I'm gonna touch base on something that I wrote just for a moment. If you have not read it, I ask that you do, and I suggest that you do. I made a call the other night, or I guess last night. Because I saw Wildfire. No, the only time I ever use Chat GPT, Pickles, is to fix my spelling. What I saw, what we've been dealing with for the last couple of months is a growing frustration from the staff team. I saw some of the staff be upset that I've never seen be upset. Everybody saw the Meg crash out for a second there. And although tame and very Canadian-esque and polite, I've known Meg for several years, and that's never been her. We saw Curtis be very snappy throughout all channels. And yeah, we saw Nala cussing quite a bit and expressing frustrations. And I saw that at a point that Wildfire was in a path that it was going to die. Because I can only be here with this team that I have here. The team that we have at Wildfire are incredible. I mean, it's a fucking well-oiled machine that works so well, and we all work so well together. And if I start losing certain people within the staff team, the workload for everybody else becomes pretty high, and the will to want to do that work gets lower. And for whatever reason, some random distrust came, and a lot of it came to, I think that there's been some confusion between equality and fairness, and there's also been some confusion over the word safe. And that's two things I'm going to talk about for a second. So equality and fairness is something that we do have. I believe that everything that we do and how we treat people is equal and fair across the board. We will treat people the same and with fairness. But what we won't do is treat every situation the same and equally. Certain situations and certain things that get done are different. And just because it fits the same category doesn't mean it's the same infraction. And we always look at repetition. So yes, a person who is known for low quality RP and is consistently doing low quality RP is going to be treated differently than somebody who's a first time offender, right? But also, when we talk about low quality RP and when we talk about fail RP, it's such a broad category. So we do have to take into account what it was that qualified that as low quality RP, what it was that qualified that between fail RP. And hang on one second. Hi, Jerry. We're okay. All right, buddy. Bye. He's 5. His dad gave him a cell phone, so now he likes to call people. I apologize. So that's why I decided to make the, like, people have to understand that there is a difference in every situation. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse over and over again, but if person A does something and person B does something that's similar but not the same, they're going to get 2 different responses. And it doesn't matter who the people are. It's about the action that they did. We judge the action, not the person. Trust me, if we started issuing it based on people, our bans would look a lot different. Because there is a lot of people within this community that as soon as they open up a ticket, it is immediate aggression, immediate accusations, immediate passive aggressiveness. And the Karen goes through the roof. And I've now instructed my, most of my staff team, they just don't even deal with it anymore. They fucking walk away, tag me, I read it, and I go, fucking try again, like let's like, I understand you're coming to me with an issue. Let's discuss the issue like we're adults. Joe, I'll be honest, Alex was a problem, but we had that conversation. Alex has been a lot better with his tickets. And I'll give credit where credit is due. But there's definitely some times where, and like, I get it, you're upset, you're making a ticket out of something that happened that you're upset, but 99% of the time the staff team is not the reason why you're upset. So you don't have the right to go to us and just be fucking dickheads, dude. Like, I worked at I used to work in customer service. I literally worked at Office Max, bro. I was paid hourly to deal with Karens and bullshit, and I still didn't deal with Karens and bullshit. Told them get the fuck out of my face. We're all adults. The average age of Wildfire is a little bit older. There is no expectation to put up with people's bullshit. So we're always gonna, and this is, I'm picking one out of Lucy's book, but energy is gonna be matched, dude. And if you're gonna open up a ticket and come at us completely sideways, you're not gonna get the response that you want. And maybe that's why there might be this perception of how we don't treat people fairly. And maybe that is a good point. Because yeah, if you're making a ticket and your immediate attitude is shitty to people who are just trying to help you, then it's fuck off. Like, it's just, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, we're not going to be here and bend over backwards and allow people just to shit on us all the time. It's, at some point in time, we have to stand up and say, we're here for you. So, and the last bit of that I'm going to talk about is a safe place. There's a lot of people that know this about me. And I'll go ahead and share it here. I'm vehemently against cancel culture, because it hits incredibly hard for me. Cancel culture is what lost me an entire career path. For everyone new here or people that just don't know this, I used to work esports for professional esports for about 6 years. I was a Rocket League coach. There was an individual who I thought was my good friend. Turns out that individual wanted the position that I had. During the time, this was kind of like the peak Me Too movement. So all this person had to do was make an accusation. It was a she, Stacy. She made a bunch of claims, sent them up the higher chain, and that's all it took. False claims against me got me fired and blacklisted from an industry that I loved, and it sent me into a different kind of depression. I lost a lot of friends because that's all it took was the accusation. They didn't care about the screenshots. They didn't care about anything else. It was just the person who made the accusation because they said, oh, she must be right. And yeah, lost everything. So when it has, she doesn't have a job right now. But when I look at, when I see things like that kind of happening in city, and then we talk about this idea, this fallacy of a safe place. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna get into politics on this one, but I am a very liberal person. I'm a registered Democrat. I'm a semi far left spectrum on most topics. Okay, so I want to preface this when I talk about the idea of a safe place, because the safe place doesn't exist, nor will it ever. The world is not a safe place. And there's a difference between what some people will call a safe place versus a place of acceptance. Wildfire is absolutely a place of acceptance. Wildfire is absolutely a place of anti-bigotry. Wildfire is absolutely a place of anti-racism. The amount of groups that we have banned because we see SS bolts in their profile picture because they're an MC, right? The amount of bigotry that we have been able to combat and fight, the amount of harassment, whether it be harassment based on hate, whether it be harassment based on assault and things like that, we have combated and fought. But there's a difference between standing up for acceptance and standing up to treating that all people are just equal versus what you're in the liberal world would call a safe place. And no, I do not think Wildfire is what in the liberal world would consider a safe place, because personally, I do not feel that those exist. And when we had the conversation with the individual talking about that, no matter what solution that we came up with was never good enough. There was always something that made you feel unsafe. Literally, Grand Theft Auto 5 would be unsafe to most definitions of quote unquote safe. And when you have people that no matter what say, I don't feel safe here, they use that to bully. And they use that to make you feel a certain way. And it's almost like a gotcha. I don't support it. I'll never support it. And that's kind of why I made the post that I made. I'm not going to do, we've had tickets come up about cancel culture where I've sided against it. I've lost people along the way. I've lost a staff member along the way because I said I'm not going to side with cancel culture. And there's a difference of being an asshole and being rude and not adhering to cancel culture. So no, we're not going to accept people being assholes. We're not going to accept people being bigots. We're not going to accept people spreading hate. In the exact same way that we're not going to accept it on the opposite side of the political row, where we're not going to accept people constantly forcing this rhetoric that you are a bad person. We're not going to accept people for constantly saying, oh, well, what you're doing is wrong and you should feel bad. You should change the way that you are. I don't know the word of that, but that's kind of why I made the post that I made. Okay. And that's the direction of Wildfire. And we kind of when I told the staff members, hey, this is what we're gonna do, there were some people that said, okay, we got our frustrations out, we're not actually gonna post this. And I said, no, I'm gonna post it. And yeah, some of the language that I used was a little bit colorful. I definitely got my fair share of shit talking in because I felt personally at the time that I needed to express myself in that way. But I still stand behind everything that I said. And the ending of that comment where I said that I have sympathy for the feelings that I've hurt, but I'm not sorry for what was said, was true then and it is true now. So, and that's all I'll have to say about that. Moving forward, I left that post open for as long as I did because it was very clear that there were some growing frustrations within the whole city. And at the end of the day, I felt like some people needed to air some shit out. Call that the texting in me. At the end of the day, sometimes you just need to go have a couple drinks and yell and cuss at each other. It just is what it is. Moving forward, we are going to treat people with respect to the level of like a normal society would respect. Lily, I'll read your post here in a minute. And the respect is just don't be an asshole. Like, and if I'm not going to define what don't be an asshole means. We're all grown, we're all adults. You should know what it means to not be an asshole. I don't have any apology to make for me. Hatred filled posted directly everything you refuse to, nor will you do anything to punish the people who felt fit place to bully people. But Lily, no, I don't. The short answer is no, I don't. Because I'm gonna read this for the video. So you don't have any apologies you'd like to make for making a hatred-filled post that directly goes against everything you refuse to do, nor will you do anything to punish the people who felt fit to use it as a place to bully people, despite that being a rule break. No, I'm not gonna apologize for that at all. I stand by it. And yes, did I have to do some things that were mean? Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys were wanting transparency. I gave transparency. Unfortunately, it was transparency against a certain group of people. And I did use that as an absolute example on why we don't do those things. And I'm sorry. I am sorry that I had to drag certain people in order to prove that point. But words were not getting my point across. So actions had to be done. Was it bullying? If that's how you want to take it, sure. But in that mindset, you can take everything as bullying. Somebody could say they like sweet tea, and you could say, oh, I don't like it. I like unsweet tea. Oh, you're bullying me because I like sweet tea. That's cancel culture, and I don't fucking support it. That's when it gets too far for me. So, do I view that I bullied people? No. I view that I brought what people had already done into the public light that was asked for. Wasn't a vendetta. And no, I'm not promoting cancel culture. If people were okay with Ben Cholo forcing torture roleplay on somebody, he should know. People should have a right to know, right? It is what it is. If people were okay with Natalia wanting to ban everybody except for a small group of 20 people so that she could feel safe, people deserve to know. It is what it is. And that's all I can really say about it. And if you do not like how it was, there's nothing. Correctly, I did say that. But you would not agree with that answer. So I had to prove a point. And that's all. That's just, it happened. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to double back on it. I said what I said. I mean everything that I said in that statement. That statement is a reflection on Wildfire. I'll even go that far. And if that statement is not something that you can get behind, there is nothing keeping you here. I'm not banning you, but there's nothing keeping you here. If you don't feel like this is the place for you, you shouldn't be here, because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to add to somebody being upset. But I'm not gonna double back because some people have left. I'm not gonna do it. So, and I'm moving on. That's the only thing I'm gonna say on the matter. If anyone else has any other questions that they want to talk about, we can. Find out in RP, Stacey. Theo, where'd you move the bench? Oh yeah, I gotta talk about that. Okay.
Take a left at that one tree, and then take a right at that rock, and then immediately turn around, and then find out in RP.
Okay. Dude, I wonder how accurate that actually is.
Someone's gonna do it.
Yeah, Willie. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't put it in. I didn't put it in the code, Charles. You're correct, but I did tell where to put it. So.
Okay, so the first big change. Mechanics. All my mechanics in chat. F's in chat for mechanics. F's in chat for mechanics. I like how Shooty's the first. Shooty heard mechanic, and he heard mechanic, and them fingers hovered over the keyboard. We are going to start. God, y'all don't come for me after I say this. We're going to start looking into potentially swapping out our mechanic systems. We're experiencing a lot of unfixable problems. Yes, James. Yes, James. I'm going to go ahead and blame Charles on this one, but we're running into a lot of problems that we cannot fix. So we're going to be looking into a new system that will hopefully be better. Not hopefully. If we're going to change, it's going to be better. Yeah. So that and we it just is what it is. It's just be prepared for it. We'll make it as painless as we always have been in the past. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it will. Some of the mechanics will have a say in what we switch to. I'll say that. It's not just going to be us that pick. So yes, John, you will have a say in what we switch to. Robbie, you'll be invited to have a say in what we switch to. So we'll obviously, Bug, you will have a say in what we switch to. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Next one. Crime. We're changing all of crime. Charles, can you send me a DM of what new crimes coming in, what crimes getting replaced, please? Thank you. You've got 30 seconds. Yeah, like 90% of crime is going to be changed. The primary thing for that is crime is going to be done on a yes, thank you, bud. Crime is going to be done on a contract basis, and there's going to be a new cryptocurrency. It's going to be kind of similar to how boosting works, but it's going to be for your heist. Charles, I hope you're DMing me.
I can take a few that I know off the top of my head.
No, we're not getting boosting, but what I mean is we're gonna get a system for your heist that is similar to how the idea of boosting works. So all of the Charles, what does this mean? I don't know what that means. Hey, yeah. Anyways, I think the big thing that we're going to change is you will no longer, it will not be linear as it currently is. Like you won't have to constantly have to spam X to do Y to do Z, etc. And then you also we're not going to make you craft near as much. Most of your heist tools and the things to do the heist are not going to be craftable. They are going to be black marketable and obtainable through contracts and through the other cryptocurrency. And that's kind of one of the things that we wanted to do to enable crimps, because the way I see it, if I can make your, when you do get caught in your losses, not sting as bad, then it wouldn't be that hard when you lose. That's kind of my idea of this. It's still going to be a grind, but we don't want the grind to be Minecraft. We want the grind to be you doing crime and playing the game. So that's what the grind is going to be. There's going to be no, like, you're not going to need to spend near as much time in the mines. You're not going to need to spend near as much time getting plastics and things like that. The crafting is going to stay and it's going to be used for other things, but heist wise, it won't be crafting heavy. So trap house, store robbery, and oil rigs are going to stay the same. So everything that's not the trap house, store robbery, and oil rigs are getting removed. There will be a rework of Fleeka, Polito, Maze, and Bobcat. They will all get reworks of them. But then Pacific Bank, a laundromat heist, a cash exchange heist, casino heist, new house robberies, art heist, an art asylum heist, and ammunition containers are all going to be added in. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new heists are coming in, and again, it's all contract based. It's not RNG. You're not gonna have to farm house robberies for over and over and over again to hopefully get a chance to get that item that you need to get to the next one. They're gonna be grindable, but you're gonna know what you're grinding for. You're gonna be basically see a contract that says this is a contract to do an art asylum. And you will be able to play the game, do your crime, and work towards getting the contract for art asylum. Yes, thank you, Charles, for reminding me. It will also be rep based, so you will we're not saying that you have to immediately do you'll be able to immediately do everything. There will be a rep, so the grind's going to be there. We're just moving the grind out of the mines and out of recycling to doing more crime.
Think of it as in 1.0, when you were here, if you remember how we had to get the tier 2 houses, just repetitiveness. It's not as bad repetitiveness because there's gonna be a lot of things that give you the rep that you need, but that's kind of what you do. You're just kind of working your way up to bigger things through your XP, essentially.
So time frame is it's already being worked on. It's currently in development. We have plans. So I know that we talked about this before. it is still on our board to release a gym system, and that's going to come along with a skill system. Roman, I'll get to that here in a second. What we're going to be able to do is tie some of your XP from the new crime rep into a skill system. So I don't know exactly what we'll be able to do with it, but the opportunity is going to be there. So, and those are currently in development. I don't have a with our skill system, but how, like, for subscription, like, we might do shit like you have a better chance of, like, you have more time on doing a certain heist if you're a certain level, shit like that. Like the mini games, you might get more time on a mini game, shit like that. In terms of gangs, Roman, how does being in a gang affect obtaining contracts and gaining rep? Currently it won't, because we are, well, it might, we have to look into that. If I can make it to where there is a way for you to do a gang task and that awards you a contract, then obviously we'll do something like that. Thank you, Bug, for letting me know that. Bug, you're dismissed. You can leave now. If I can make it to where doing a gang task and award a contract, we will.
I think we can maybe potentially at least be able to award that crypto wildfire coin or whatever.
Yeah, we can definitely award the crypto based on gang contracts for sure.
Yeah.
Lex, we might have to talk that on a private level. We'll see, because y'all weren't here when I did this, but I posted a community poll a while back ago on if people were going to be okay with third-party and heists and activities, and roughly 102, 103 people said no, they don't want to be okay with that. So I mean, we'll see. I don't think it's the containers that you're thinking of, though. Smash and grabs are technically getting changed on the back end so that we can do more things with them, James. So we switched our smash and grabs to an open source version of the smash and grab. So now we can do more shit with it. And we'll start being, most of the crime will start being tied into the skill system.
Yes and no, Johnny. I think that some of the ways you're gonna be able to get crypto, you could probably sell. But as far as like just straight, hey, I want to buy 100 crypto from you, I don't think that's possible.
Aubrey, if I'm being honest with you, that was making a lot of headway. And then we just got the people that are working on that part of like development and stuff like that are actually staff members. The devs themselves are not working on that. And the last couple of months has been a little difficult staff wise. So there hasn't been a whole lot of movement on that, but it is still on our board and still in our plan to release that version of like that wild west form of Kaio with airdrops and things like that. So that's kind of what we are waiting for, is honestly, we need to get this crime system finished, polished a little bit, and then submitted to the masses and see how you guys interact with cops after that. Because at least at the start, there's going to be a lot less major crime and more smaller petty crime. There's just going to be more crime in of itself, right? Because the way to grind to get the crypto and to get the contracts to do the major crime, you will have to do petty crime.
One of the biggest setbacks to get it in is going to be the eco part. It's going to take me a while to eco all this shit. So,
especially because one of the biggest things is we're taking the crafting part almost entirely away.
but
So-
I'm going to say 90% of crafting will be gone probably.
Yeah. Weapons will not.
Weapons will not
still be
change.
crafted. Yeah.
Yeah.
As of right now, weapons will not change. I'm gonna be
Right.
honest. As of right now. Now, will we make changes to it in the future? Maybe.
I have other plans still. So,
Drugs have constantly been reworked. Quite frankly, yeah, there's a drug selling man, because we actually were talking about this last night. The reason why y'all think drugs are not good is because y'all don't know how it works, and I'm so close to just metaing this shit.
I mean, I will a little. I mean,
Actually, no. I'll say this, and Clayton, this is kind of what I said last night. I'll say this, okay? If you go to a place in the city where, if you thought really hard, would this be an okay place to sell drugs at? What is the most clear and the most place to sell drugs? You would probably find that you will make a bunch of money at that particular area. And when I say a bunch, I mean like a lot.
yeah, it's quite ridiculous actually.
Yeah.
I'll go one step further. Basically, there are zones. There are zones that require cops, some that does not require cops, but not all zones buy all drugs, so they're not all sellable in all the places. So if you're not gonna be able to sell it, maybe you can't sell that drug there. There is a time where you can sell everything everywhere, but you just have to find out when that is. And it is very, very, very possible to make a shit ton of money. I know someone that made way too much, if I'm being honest, off of meth in a zone with cops.
The Eclipse, the quietest one, they say, are making bank off of drugs because that's
There you
what
go.
they focus on.
Yeah,
So
it's to the point that if y'all actually, as a city, come together and figure it out, we'd have to nerf drugs.
I listen. I think we should nerf them anyway, but I know that a lot of people don't know much about it. If I'm my character, I do give hints out on things. You can ask Eden. So
Theo Rumlin's question.
what was it? Let me look at it.
The bricks. I don't think we've actually implemented that yet, if I'm being honest.
No, we haven't. Well, there's only one way to get bricks at the moment if you're not in a gang, and those bricks can be broke down. There's no way to sell bricks as of yet that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not.
I can tell you that civ crims are probably won't. I don't know. We'll have to discuss if we're gonna have a brick selling system like that.
Yeah,
It'd most likely just be
I've
broke
got
down.
something to I've got something to show you, Theo, that we'll look at.
Okay.
Stacy, see, that's why you can't be the staff person to talk to the community. See, right there. Guys, if there's no more questions, this is a 98-minute town hall. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it with 98 Degrees was a good band. I do. Anyways, I'm Stacy. I swear to God, like, what do you just have it saved on your fucking desktop?
It's pretty close to the time you said it a year ago too. I think.
It is. What's gonna make the one transparency change we were doing so people know what to expect? Which one's? I thought I already talked about that.
Yeah, we're gonna we had this amount of rule breaks, this amount of punishment type thing. We have a staff meeting every Saturday. I'm not gonna guarantee one comes out this Saturday because we got to get it all put together, but we'll definitely start talking about it more.
Yeah.
I love you, Stacey.
Me too, bro.
All right. My ending statement is, guys, we fucking care about this place a lot. This team has been together for a couple of years now, and we care. Like we genuinely care about this community. We want this community to grow in the direction that we feel it should. It's going to grow in the direction that embodies what we feel it should. And we want people to be here. We want people to want to be here, and we want people to have a good time. And that's going to be, I can't guarantee everybody's going to want to be here, and I can't guarantee that everybody's going to have a good time. So all I can say is that it's kind of no harm, no foul. Like I mean, yeah, Curtis, you can restock them. Bug, you can restock them if you want to.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
The reason why the Banshee was taken out, it was, I think maybe the mechanics trick or something. It was bugging out and doing 240 miles an hour, so I ripped it out of the city for a while.
Sorry. Also, guys, if y'all are doing something in city that you realize is making you an ungodly amount of money in a very short time, you should probably realize that that's not intentional, and you should let us know. Because when we find out, I took a lot of money and a lot of shit from a certain individual. So let's just let us know. But anyways, guys, just have a good time. Also, appear online on Discord, Wesley. That's the problem, by the way. Restart your Discord and then appear online, and it'll recognize that you have a Discord account. It 100% is encryption. It will fix your problem 100% of the time. I will die on that hill. Ron, you need to ask if you can DM Mac. She's the one. But okay. Y'all have a good time. Y'all have a good night. Thank you all for coming.